Boy, oh boy, do I have updates for you. Some of you already know, but for those who don't, I actually had to go on a 2.5-week hiatus due to work travel. So these updates that I'm about to provide are actually from before my hiatus. You will be getting another devlog after this one, trust me. There is still a lot more being done even after the last update that I provided in this video. But without further ado, these are my updates from before my hiatus beginning around the 6th of January. So in my last devlog, one thing that I forgot to mention is that with the Chow state machines, I actually did add a play state. So at this point, I only have 2 states, the wander state, where they're just wandering around aimlessly and kind of doing their own thing. And then there's the play state. When they are bored enough, they'll walk up to the soccer ball and they'll start kicking it around. Beginning around the 6th of January, I also added Chow HP. Because in the back of my mind, I know that I need to close this game loop. With Chow HP, it shows itself as a red heart on the Chow stats menu. As the Chow loses HP, that heart looks more and more broken, and once it's completely broken, the Chow actually passes away and despawns. The way that you completely lose the game is if a certain percentage of your Chow pass away. Part of the way to lose is also having a game over screen, so I did implement that, and while I was at it, I also added the title screen and a pause screen, so it was starting to feel a lot more like a real game. Around the 19th of January, I started working on a ledge jump, and this is because walking around the world and not being able to access almost half of it is so insane to me. I really wish I could swim, and if I'm thinking this to myself, I'm 100% sure that people playing the game are going to feel the exact same way. So I started working on a way to jump into the water. I actually ended up making a YouTube short showing my progress because I was so excited. This was a huge game development milestone for me because I was 100% certain that I would never be able to get into the water and swim. The ledge jump update that I provided was only the jump portion, and immediately after I uploaded that YouTube short, I added the swim animation to it. So this is what it looks like now. And I'm so excited about it. I was just so proud of myself for being able to achieve this. And for those of you who are curious, I did also implement this for the Chow, and I actually did all of the implementation and playtesting for it on Twitch. So if you guys ever want to see me do any of the work for this game in real time, go ahead and follow my Twitch channel. The next thing that I wanted to work on was adding a little bit more personality to the Chow because it can get quite boring with these Chow. So first and foremost, I wanted to add a favorite food mechanic. And this was really cool because in my very first devlog, I said that whenever you feed the Chow, it boosts their speed stat because it was the only stat that they had. But now I was thinking, well, maybe I can just make them get a boost in their speed stat if it's their favorite food because they're so happy that you gave them their favorite food. And honestly, it's almost adjacent to having a sugar rush. So why not? And what's really fun about it is that since the Chow are able to speak now, you can actually learn what each of the Chow really like because they'll say to you, that's my favorite. At this point in the game, whenever you walk up to the Chow and interact with them, they will stay south-facing, and it feels really robotic. So the next thing that I worked on was actually the looking at function. Now, I don't want you guys to confuse that with Godot's built-in look at function. Those are 2 completely different things because the look at function does this, and looking at does this. Okay? Honestly, this was also a pretty big milestone for me as a developer, and I did make a full video tutorial for this function. So if you're a game dev yourself and you want to implement this in your own game, please check that video out. It should give you all of the code and the logic of why it works and how it works. And then finally, around the 29th of January, I finally added toys. So I created a Chow inventory. The Chow can only hold 1 item and it's specifically for toys. The first toy that I added were the playing cards. You hand them the playing cards, and whenever they run low on stimulation, the Chow will prefer the toy in their hand over the soccer ball that's available to all of the other Chow. When you walk up to the Chow and interact with them, there's a new button that says play. The Chow is going to decide which of the playing card games that you guys will play. After playing with the Chow, either the stimulation bar will be mostly full or it will be all the way full, but it's entirely dependent on whether or not the player wins or loses. And that is my last update. That is everything that I got done before my hiatus. One thing that I never mentioned in my previous devlogs is the deadline that I gave myself to complete this game. My goal to finish this game is the end of December of this year. It's my very first game, I'm not aiming for perfection, and I'm really trying my best to take in as much advice as I can about game development, and one of those bits of advice is to not get too attached to your game. So that's why I have a hard deadline of December for finishing this game and being completely done with it. One thing I will say is you guys will actually have access to play this game much sooner than December. By the time I upload my next video, I will be able to give you guys the link to the itch.io page where this game will be uploaded, and you guys can play this in your web browser for free. This is so that I can get as much feedback as humanly possible on this game since it's my very first and I'm trying to learn and grow as a game developer. So if you guys are at all interested in playing this game for yourselves, consider liking and subscribing so that you can see the next time that I upload. And if you want to see me do my game development in real time, consider following me on Twitch. But those are my updates for now. I will see you guys in my next upload.